What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Docu-Dialogues, a series where we bring you fun and engaging documentary filmmaking content in blogs, interviews, film reviews, and etc. In today's episode, we interview Mr. Tom Zubrycki, one of the leading documentary filmmakers in Australia with over 50 years of experience. He provides 4 tips to new documentary filmmakers just starting out. Let's get straight in.
Documentaries can be made in all sorts of different ways. You don't necessarily have to make them following an unfolding story. You can actually script them.
The first tip from Mr. Zubrycki is that there isn't one single way to make a documentary, and you shouldn't feel restricted to a specific method. Instead, feel free to experiment and do what's authentic to the purpose of your documentary. For example, you can be expository and use interviews and voiceovers to deliver your message, like the award-winning documentary Blackfish. Or you could use none of those things at all and simply use historical footage without any voiceovers, like the Atomic Cafe, to deliver your point across.
Don't spend too much time writing a script. Sure, I think you need to do that to get the initial idea going, but then you should begin to start shooting and then discover the film along the way, and also be prepared to change direction at any time. What I encourage people who are starting off to do is to look around them, their own neighborhoods, with people who they're familiar with, to try and find something that's different, unique.
Here on the second tip, Mr. Zubrycki speaks of the need to observe the world acutely, to
look for something strange and unexpected in the ordinary.
Because the power of documentaries ultimately lie in its ability to illuminate the previously unilluminated, suppressed yet important stories of people and events around us. Before moving on to our next tip, Docu is a non-profit organization made for students by students with the goal of spreading a love of documentary filmmaking. Consider checking out our website here for more educational content like this, competition opportunities, and much more.
I think you can't pretend that every documentary is going to change the world, but you can influence people in a particular direction.
In this third tip, Mr. Zubrycki speaks of the need to start small and not to be ashamed if your documentary doesn't make any sweeping societal changes. Instead, he thinks that even if your documentary touches one soul, it is still a meaningful film. To help increase the chances of the change your film makes, he believes that you should
give them something that they can relate to. They can emotionally relate to, they can relate to in terms of the issues that they themselves are going through. You need also to be truthful and accurate and ethical as well.
In his last tip, Mr. Zubrycki speaks of the need to present the truth accurately and to also continue the tradition of independent documentary filmmaking.
When we began in the 1970s, there were no such thing as independent documentaries. Just basically to continue the tradition of independent documentaries.
Independent documentary filmmaking is ultimately important because it's a voice of the people, of humanity, and of unity in a world where large corporations, media companies, and governments are increasingly more inclined to polarize us instead of presenting the truth and nothing but the truth. He ends with these inspiring words.
Always look behind the issues of the day. That's really what you need to do, is not to take anything for granted that you see, or hear in the media, but just to try and find something that's different, unique. Takes an understanding of something much further, and maybe leads to actions. I expect the younger generation to carry on this tradition.